Utah politics at all, you can probably guess who those two legislators were. They were Mike Noel and Aaron Tilton. And that was my first brush with a certain segment of the Utah legislature that never met a conflict of interest it didn't like. Now, many Utahns tell us at HEAL, well, look, of course I don't want to see a nuclear power plant on the green, but this is such a ridiculous idea. It's going to fizzle out on its own, isn't it? And what I say is, here's the problem with that theory. Blue Castle Holdings, which is the company behind the Green River reactor proposal, they were built for one purpose and one purpose alone. And that is to win a permit from the Federal Nuclear Regulatory Commission. They don't want to actually build a nuclear plant, nor do they need to have the resources to do so. They want to leverage their cozy political connections into a valuable permit that they can sell to somebody else who will build it. Why else would Blue Castle Holdings' executive team include a former Nuclear Regulatory Commission chairman? They have a former NRC chairman on their executive team. They have a former Utah legislator in Aaron Tilton, and they have a former Utah State Energy Policy Advisor in Reed Searle. This was not a mistake. They built this team to look so serious that they could obtain that nuclear power plant permit. Now, what's the problem with a permit? It's just a piece of paper, right? Well, actually, if they win that permit, it is good for the next 20 years, and then can be renewed for another 20 years. So even though we look at nuclear power today, we say, oh, it's so expensive, it's so costly, and so risky, nobody will build it. Well, all that can change in 5, 10, 20, 30 years. Our Congress could pass hundreds of billions of dollars in loan guarantees, taxpayer-backed loan guarantees, to make sure that these reactor proposals happen. Our own Senator Bob Bennett from Utah, who's now no longer in the United States Senate, advocated for such a policy. These are not hypotheticals. We can see our state pass laws to advantage nuclear power plants and make sure that we bear the risk that no investor would bear. So that's why we take this proposal so seriously, and that's why we've got to send a strong message that our water is not up for grabs for dirty energy development. If we send a strong message that the nuclear power plant can't use our water, that's going to send a message to oil sands tar sands and oil shale development that our water can't be used for that. It's too precious. So, Blue Castle and Aaron Tilton are doing everything in their power to make sure that they can win their permit. And in fact, just briefly, I'll tell you about something Matt Pacenza, our policy director, attended in September. It was a lunch and learn, supposedly, but they should have called it a lunch and lobby. Because what they did was fly in representatives from America's 3 most pro-nuclear states to lobby our electric power, the people who set our electric power rates in the state of Utah. And their message from these very charming Southerners was very clear. They said Utah should copy Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina and pass laws that let their utilities charge their customers as much as they need for new nuclear power plants, no matter how much their customer bills skyrocket, and even if those nuclear reactors are never, ever built. What a deal for the nuclear industry, right? So this sham of a presentation was just one of a very troubling series of lobbying activities that indicate strongly to us Blue Castle is going to move forward with this. They're going to try again to change Utah state law. And just as we were able to help thwart their proposal back in 2007, my first year with HEAL Utah, we are going to be ready to do that again. And as Professor McCool is saying, we need to be the instigators who stand up at that time and say, no, we're not going to pay for this supposed nuclear power renaissance. We want our money to go to other things like wind and solar projects, things that will protect our air and protect our water. So fighting this fight and countering the pervasive influence of polluters is why HEAL Utah's work is so important. It's what really gets us fired up. We want to stand up for the public good and fight against the polluters who have monetary interests in doing what they're doing. Now, many of you bought tickets tonight, and you are supporting HEAL Utah's important work to do this, and we thank you for that. However, for those of you who are in a position to donate a little bit extra tonight, I have something very exciting to tell you about. We have a special matching gift pool where a handful of some of our very most generous donors have come together, and they've said that for every gift we get tonight, this matching pool will double it, up to $10,000. So we are thrilled at this opportunity. We would love to have you join us. And you will find some pledge cards either on your seat or under your seat where you can make that donation to us, and you will see Sophia Nicholas. I don't think she, oh, there she is in the back of the room. You can leave those pledge cards with Sophia Nicholas. And so basically the way it works is if you give us $50, that is matched and it becomes $100. $200, that's matched and becomes $400. So we really hope that you will consider that. And let's hope that when Dan McCool gets around to writing book number 9, because he's on 8 right now, that when he gets to book number 9, he'll be writing about us. He'll be writing about all of the instigators in this very room who fought back against a huge nuclear threat and won. So thank you. I want to say 2 quick things, and then we'll bring Dan back up to answer some questions. Number 1 is we have some more food. So I really apologize to those of you who have not been able to eat and have waited. Please feel free to come up and get some pizza on the table. And number 2, I left somebody out that I wanted to mention who is with us tonight, Donna McAleer. Is Donna McAleer still with us?
She got beat 80 to 20.
Donna ran an incredible campaign. You want to talk about
Yeah, Bishop beat her 80 to 20. Worst politician in American Utah history, and he wins by 80
this
to 20.
year, but she is certainly somebody to watch, and we're so proud
People don't even know
to
who
have
he
her
is.
as one of our Heal Utah supporters. So those are my 2 other announcements, and at this point, let's bring Professor McCool back up to answer some questions.